time for Leadership of the Leaf. Great leaders smoke great cigars. Now, in their fourth season, Austin and Dice are back with more leadership advice and cigar knowledge to share. Grab a cigar and let's put some smoke in the air.
Welcome to another episode of Leadership of the Leaf. My name's Austin, and Dice is sucking on something big.
My name is Dice, and I'm very confident you're going to be putting the same size girthy thing in your mouth. All's happening.
And moist.
And it might be moist. Only man. Yeah, so obviously we're smoking the same thing because we're talking.
We are.
Mad shit about it. We was having lots of fun off here. So I'm very confident it's going to spill over onto air.
Oh, jeez. So, I'm going to preface this because I will tell everyone we're smoking, but I want to preface this. I sent Dice a picture of a cigar that I was gifted out of the kindness of a friend's heart, along with about 7 other cigars. And I looked at it and I was like, haha, that's a big fucking cigar.
Yeah.
And I don't mean big as in long, like a Churchill. I mean big as in girthy. And so I sent Dice a picture of it. And Dice was like, that's a great idea. We should smoke it on air. And now we're just having all sorts of fun with this shit. But what we are smoking is...
Oh, yeah. Say it, big boy.
It's the Chunk Maduro by Alec Bradley. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with the Chunk, because this thing is a chunk. They named appropriately. Just saying. This is a 4-inch by 80 AT ring gauge.
Yeah,
for those of you who want to know, ring gauge is in 1/64 of an inch. So this is over an inch in diameter.
Yes. I took pictures and I was trying to capture the size of it, and I put a quarter next to it. So if you could just picture the diameter of a quarter, doesn't compare to the diameter of this fucking cigar.
It does not.
Chunk isn't new to the game because Alec Bradley done quite a few chunks, but their normal chunk sizes is 4 by 60. I think they did it like for Magic Toast and a bunch of other like different Alec Bradley cigars. But because of the success of that, they decided to make Chunk its own line. And when they decide to do that, they decided to go ahead and make a 4XL Chunk, which is what we have, is the 4 by 80. 4 by 80.
Right. You want to talk about a Woody out here. 40 by 80.
Short and stout, baby. Short and stout.
Yeah, no, this thing is this is large and in charge.
I have to say. Austin and I both had to get we had to dig deep in our treasure trove of cutters to find one cut. And luckily, we both ordered from the same place to get the oversized cutter. Because other than that, I don't think I would have had them. No,
I would have had to get like a fucking knife or something out of my fucking drawer and like cut this thing. Dude, this thing is large and in charge, man. Like, yeah. Luckily, we ordered from the same place to get this like fucking oversized fucking cutter. Because none of my other cutters, I have 2 Calibri cutters. I have a straight cut, butterfly-esque cutter. That's not big enough. My normal Calibri double-sided cutter, which has a B cut and a guillotine cut, not big enough. And all my other cutters, not even close to being big enough. And then, of course, we have a 3-torch lighter, and it still took us at least 45 seconds.
Longer than a cigar should take.
To torch to like just toast this thing.
I was even thinking about like punching it, but then I'm looking at it and I'm like, I may have to punch like 3 holes in it.
Talk about a colander fucking punch.
I was thinking of crown cutting it, but oh man.
Obviously, pictures will be up on our Instagram at Leadership of the Leaf on Instagram. Please go check them out. Laugh at us. All good time. Fuck, this thing is massive.
It kind of sidebarred the whole episode. So, what are you drinking? Because what I have in my notes can't be right.
Yeah, well, you decided to throw in something. And of course, Dice is drinking Hennessy, so we don't need to go into that. Got it. VSOP. Got it. Or VS. Probably VS. Anyways. Am I right?
You're right. So,
right.
Dice is drinking VS. Got it. Yes.
All right. I'm drinking the Baldini Scotch. It's a 14-year. So it's aged for 14 years and a rum cask.
I like how you make sure you just try to keep everything like neat and straight, and I'm not going to add anything extra because I know Dice is going to try to ride it. But, I'm going to let you enjoy your rum barrel aged Scotch. 14 years.
Yeah.
See how long that was? See? Yeah. It wasn't just Hennessy VS. Caribbean cask. Extra. What is it? Extra what?
Extra matured in rum cask.
Anejo.
Anyways, what are we talking about, Dice? I see in here it says Al. Is that right? Al?
No. We're talking about Allen Iverson.
Oh, AI. AI. We can talk about practice. We talk about the game.
What, are we talking about the game? I show up every day for the game. I show up every day for the game. I score the points. Where's the rest of the team? Who needs to practice?
You, bitch, on your humility. But if I was doing what he did, then I would have been him.
We're talking about artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. But this isn't about robots replacing us. It's about how smart leaders are using AI right now to make sharper decisions, move faster, and lead more effectively. We're not talking just like, hey, it's Chat GPT. No, we're not cheating out here on our fucking homework, you losers.
This is one of those things where I came across like the trending topics for leadership or whatever, and then we discussed it, and I was like, all right, we'll do a show. Because we're going to try to put in some real world examples, some common mistakes to avoid, and how to become, AI literate without even needing to learn a single line of code. Because, coding is for nerds. And we're not nerds.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not.
Yeah. Hey, how's that 80-year engage treating you? Did you open up nice and wide?
I open extra wide, but so we make a comment about jaw hurting. Is that a thing?
That might be. Well, no. I don't think it could be sexist because both sexes do it.
I'm enjoying this cigar as much as I can.
My fucking jaw hurts.
Could you at all think of how AI will even matter to leaders? Is that a thing? Like AI and leadership, it doesn't seem like it would be a thing, right?
No, it absolutely is a thing. I think if you're not using AI, I think you're missing out, right? Like it's not keeping up with the newest tech trends, the newest internet fun stuff like ChatGPT and let me Simpsonize my photo of myself holding a cigar.
I did that.
Thanks for proving my point. It's about staying relevant, competitive, and effective in a rapidly changing environment. AI can process vast amounts of information and faster and more accurately than humans, spotting patterns, predicting outcomes that leaders may otherwise miss. It doesn't replace strategic thinking. It enhances it. So, if you're sitting there looking at, let's say quality escape trends over the past 10 years, because you feel like your quality of a particular plant has gone down, and you're looking at these quality escape trends, you can feed all that to AI and go analyze this and tell me what it's trending, if it's trending up, down, and what I'm doing wrong or what I'm missing or something, and and in like 10 minutes it spits out like, bing, right here, this is where it started trending down at this year, month, and it's been going down ever since. And you're like, I fucking knew I wasn't crazy. And then you can deep dive into doing it, right? But if you took a person, even a team of people, and you said, hey, analyze 10 years of fucking trend data, it's going to take them like a week.
Yeah. Graph that shit out, map it out. You can see here.
Yeah.
You can see here.
Right. Where AI can do that shit in like 15 minutes. Like, hey, bitch, here it is. Like,
give me all the numbers.
Yeah.
Leaders who integrate AI into decision making can make choices based on real time data backed like insights, data driven decisions and stuff, rather than just their intuition alone. And I like that it's not just their intuition alone, because a lot of times you have that intuition as a leader, like, you know what? I bet your red is trending. Run it through the AI. My intuition, and then AI proves your intuition is right. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, so there we go. My intuition is right. I have data to back that up. Let's move forward. The results is not just speed, but precision in areas like forecasting resources, allocations, market analysis, and customer engagement. All that stuff is put beep, boop, and then it spits out the information so you can use it. In the past, like you were saying it before, in the past it took teams of analysts, because that was someone's job. Analysts, weeks they'd be in a room with the whiteboard, chalking up numbers, doing this, and one little mess up, you have to start back over from wherever that mess up was. All right, now leaders can just pull their insights before the cigar even requires a touch up.
Well, and I've seen coders use this stuff when they're coding a program. They're like, why the fuck isn't this working? They put their code into the AI and go, tell me where I went wrong. And it goes, rip, here, this line 132 out of 30,000, you forgot a parentheses. Like, fuck,
motherfucker.
but if you didn't have that, you had to go through all 30,000 lines of code to figure out where the hell you went wrong. And that could take hours, days, weeks. But here's a real world example. In 2023, Unilever used AI to optimize its global supply chain. By integrating AI-driven demand forecasting, they can predict changes in consumer demand with remarkable accuracy. This is going to allow them to reduce waste, lower storage costs, respond faster to market changes, especially during seasonal shifts. And the AI system even detected potential shortages before they happened, enabling leadership to adjust sourcing strategies and avoid stockouts. Instead of being reactive, leadership became proactively strategic, freeing up time and resources to focus on innovation rather than putting out fires. So it's like, hey, I have a nationwide product or line of products, and maybe the Pacific Northwest doesn't, you think it's going to enjoy this one product, and maybe it doesn't. And so instead of putting all your product in the Pacific Northwest, you could shift that product down to where it's actually going to be used and reroute the extra stuff up to wherever they're going to be. So that way you're like, okay, this doesn't sell in that region. I'm going to take that away and put it to a region that does sell, and then I'm going to move my other stuff that does sell up there.
Having AI look at the supply chains and stuff like that, it does a phenomenal part of that, right? Because you can't really predict that looking at it analysis wise. You can kind of get an idea of it. Like when COVID hit, you can kind of predict, like, we're going to have problems, or there's a trucker strike, we're going to have problems or whatever. But AI looked past all that. AI was looking at just the raw data in general. So having an intuition about it and then running through the system obviously is going to bring that to the forefront. But like the idea that it's making it more proactive instead of reactive, because there's so many times you have the intuition and it falls into place. You're like, oh, we need to react now, or before the market changes, whatever. But AI can predict that beforehand. So I love the fact that leaders would now have the opportunity, instead of relying on some fresh out of college analysis, just digging through a whole bunch of numbers. Like, okay, a bunch of college kids looking through numbers. If they're anything like I was in college, boring, I'm done. Just write down something so we can go drink more beer. So now you have AI that doesn't drink beer, running the right numbers, making things happen. As you were saying, I love how the AI uses data to have our leaders be more proactive instead of reactive, because I would imagine that the analysis team or whatever is just really a bunch of college students just going through, looking at a bunch of numbers on a spreadsheet, a piece of paper, trying to map out trends and stuff going through. And if they're anything like I was in college, then I'm not worried about any numbers. We'll just get something on the paper that looks good so we can go out to our sorority house or wherever, pick up beer and pick up girls and do whatever. I'm not going to be sitting in this room looking at numbers all day and all night. So the AI program would definitely take that variance out of the picture. And then I just love the fact that it's being more proactive. It gives the leaders that edge, a more data driven edge, instead of going off just their gut feeling alone.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. You know what I'd love to get a data driven edge on is your first third.
Did you ask yours yet?
Yeah.
Man, that was
it's an experience.
That is definitely different. Wow.
And it burns like shit too, right? Is yours all wonky as shit burning?
I had to touch mine up just a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting pepper, but it's not like a deep dive in pepper. I'm getting cedar-ish, but all the flavors aren't like how I would think they would be with such a girthy cigar. It's like so big. Everything is like in a good melting pot and just mellowed enough. I don't want to say mellow because you're going to think it's a mellow cigar, because it's definitely a medium cigar. I don't know, maybe a little earthy, but nothing is overwhelming. Nothing is like stand out ish.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's burning so hot and there's so much airflow. I think it's like it's diluting the flavors to make them more muted.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So it's like hot smoke with pepper and earth and maybe a little bit of cedar or something.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. I feel like if I just punched it, now that you said that, if I just put a center punch, the biggest center punch I could find, I don't believe it would have smoked as well as it is now, even though it's not smoking that well, in my opinion, now.
No, I agree. Mine is all fucking wonky as shit. Like it keeps canoeing on me and stuff, and I'm trying to like touch it up, but it's just.
I ran out of butane.
Yeah, for lack of a better term, shit. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting experience trying to smoke this cigar and keep everything lit.
Shit, I'm lit, homie.
Anyway, all right. So leaders, and more so the C-suite, right? The chief executive officer, chief financial officer, chief operating officer, C-suite, right?
Yeah, that's what that means.
Generative AI is shifting the C-suite from a purely experience-based decision hub to a data-augmented command center. Leaders can now run complex simulations evaluating what-if scenarios, market disruptions, and competitor moves in minutes instead of weeks. That speed's going to allow the executives to pivot faster, allocate resources with more confidence, experiment with strategies without risking real-world losses. The CEO can model market expansions, the CFO can forecast multiple revenue scenarios, and the CHRO can evaluate workforce skill gaps with real-time insights, and that is going to give the result of being a more agile, cross-functional leadership team where decisions are both faster and more evidence-based. Because in the past, it had to be, well, I think we need more machinists to make widget A. And somebody else would be like, no, we have more than enough machinists to make widget A, that we have extra stuff. Like we need more salespeople to move widget A, or we need the next person in line or whatever. And then, everyone argues, well, this time you can just run it through AI and say, what do we need? Hey, here's our process. Here's where slowdown is. Here's what's going on, and it can shut it out and go, oh yeah, you actually need more machinists for widget B to mate with widget A. That's where your slowdown is. Oh, fuck, we didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it was almost a blind sight because everyone. Let's just say a human or a person is going to have their natural biases, right? Just natural bias. I think Austin sucks. That's my natural bias.
Fucking loser.
But if I run it through AI and all the data comes back, Austin doesn't suck. What does suck is machine B, which Austin is in charge of. It needs to be updated, upgraded, or whatever needs to happen because machine A's output is vast more than machine B, and it can't keep up. So it makes it look like Austin sucks, but Austin doesn't. He just smokes big ring gauge cigars.
Fucking loser.
I just want to see you put it in your mouth. But I mean, the AI is going to be it's going to take the human. I want to make sure everyone understands. It's going to take the human bias out of it.
Right.
So it's going to run off the pure data. Go ahead.
Yeah. However, and this may be where you were going with it. So if it is, I'm sorry to steal your thunder. Every computer problem is based off of the input, right? So if you give it garbage input based off human biases, it's going to give you garbage outputs based off your human bias. But if you just take spreadsheets out of data and plug those in, there's no bias in that. But if you manipulate the data, right? Like if you take a sale, like any company does this, and this is why, like studies, and you're like, who funded the study? We talked about in the past, like, well, who funded this study that cherry is better than watermelon or whatever? Oh, it's the cherry farmers. Yeah, of course they're gonna fucking cherry pick that data to make it look better, right? So if you give it biased data, it's gonna give you a biased answer. So whatever you do, I will say this: make sure you give it unbiased, pure data, because that's how you get your best answer, and make sure it's actually data-driven decisions, not biased data-driven decisions.
Well, one example for the C-suites or whatever, right, is PepsiCo. PepsiCo has been using AI-driven analytics to assist executives in strategic planning. For example, when deciding whether to launch a new snack product in the different regions, the CEO and leadership team uses AI to simulate demand scenarios based on social media trends, competitor pricing, and distribution costs. Of course, that's a lot of info and data and tables, pivot tables and everything, right? The simulation revealed that launching in Latin America first would yield the highest ROI, which is return on investment, with a lower risk, leading them to stage the rollout rather than going global immediately, which probably beforehand, they probably would have done it globally, and then they would have saw that, damn, Latin American market is fucking booming everywhere else. And then that sales probably would have been wonky. Like, they probably just broke even as opposed to listening to AI and just doing the Latin American market to where now they're more profitable and not losing. And of course, the next line is going to say that approach saved them millions in marketing and logistics while reducing the chance of a failed launch.
Well, and that aspect too is saying, like, you know, because we've all had it, we've all seen it before, right? Like, you get a new product and that product cannot come fast enough.
Yeah.
And you're selling it for way more money than you think you would. But over time, people can't get it, so they just go, fuck this, I'm not even looking for it. I can't get it anyways. And so now I don't even want it. I'll just go, and some other company is honed in on what you found in Latin America, which is gold mine for that product. And they launch their competitive product to your company in that region and flood the market. Well, now your shit ain't worth dog crap. And you're like, fuck, man, I wish I would have known that I should have just launched purely in Latin America versus trying to roll it out everywhere else. So it's, there's those aspects too, where it's like, oh, okay, that would have been really bad if I hadn't had that data behind my decision.
I could foresee them strategizing and coming up with a global launch of something. I don't know what the product was. Let's do a new tortilla chip or some shit, right?
Yeah.
A global launch. Like Japan's not going to appreciate those chips. China's not going to appreciate that. The UK's not going to care.
Yeah.
Right? Those are not tortilla people. Not being racist or biased or anything. Just Latin America is going to fucking eat that shit up faster than anybody else.
Right.
And then, of course, now the social trend and social media and all that be like, damn, perfect example of that. I got a real world example that hits me right to the core. Hennessy White.
Yeah.
Hennessy White was only in the Caribbean area. It was not a worldwide launch at all. And then finally the trends was hitting social media like Henny White. Everybody wanted this Henny White. And then they launched it in America. How well did it do? Not well at all.
Really?
No, it did not. You go find a bottle now.
Cheap as shit.
No, you can't find it. It doesn't exist. And if you do find one, it's double or triple the price.
Ooh.
It did not come out as a limited edition. It didn't like limited edition Hennessy. No, it was a launch. And it's just gone. It just did not work out. But I guarantee you can still find it in the Caribbean area.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at certain brands, right? Like, just even like Publix. Publix is only in the Southeast.
Yes. Sad.
Right? But you go look at in the Northeast and you get Wawa and Sheetz and stuff like that. You can't find that shit in the South.
Never heard of it.
They're big ass gas stations.
Oh, Buc-ee's.
Slightly smaller than Buc-ee's, but yeah, like a Pilot Flying J almost. Place, but they have like good food and stuff like that. I went to one up near Philly, and I was like, "Damn, this place is legit. Like, I'd shop here." Nope, don't have them anywhere else. So it's, but they may have looked at that market research and go, "No, we're not expanding. We're going to keep us local." There's an ice cream company in Oklahoma. It's based in central Oklahoma. It's Brahms. So anyone out there who's never had Brahms ice cream, well, the only way you can find it is in Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and I think in Arkansas. But what their whole goal is, and this is not because they probably wouldn't sell anywhere else, this is, we're taking care of our employees. They make it to where their truck drivers, because their whole thing is about freshness. So our truck drivers, we package our product, our truck drivers drive 8 hours, and then 8 hours, it's all within like an 8 hour radius. And that's it. Like 4 hours there, 4 hours back. It's 8 hour total drive, or if it's 6 and 6, total 12 hours. And that's it. They won't go any further than that because they're like, no, we're taking care of our employees. But everyone loves them because it's all fresh, because they know that if they do it, then they have to sacrifice freshness, and freshness is what they're known for. So, but there's pitfalls, right? Pitfalls and mistakes of AI. So while AI can accelerate decisions, it can also amplify bad decisions if implemented poorly. Like I talked about the bias data before. The most common mistakes executives make include over-relying on AI without human judgment. AI models learn from historical data. If that data has bias or gaps, like I talked about before, that output's going to reflect those flaws. Leaders who blindly trust AI risk missing context, nuance, or ethical implications that only a human can spot. If you've ever had an AI, I see this all the time in ChatGPT. I'm like, I'll read something, and I'm like, damn, this is technically correct, but there's no soul, there's no insight, there's no who gives a shit type factor to it. And I go talk to the person, I'm like, hey, did you write this? And I put it in ChatGPT. And it's like, oh, that's why, because no wonder. This shit's like all fucking weird and shit, and it doesn't make any sense. And they're like, I just sent it up because, you've accepted it in the past. I'm like, after I've changed a bunch of stuff, I accepted it, but now it makes sense. Stop using ChatGPT, asshole. Write the shit out, then use ChatGPT to reorganize your thoughts into a more coherent manner. That's all you need, right? But I have to have your insights. That's what I pay you for as an analyst. Like an analyst, I pay you for your insight. If you're not gonna give me your insight, I could ChatGPT this shit myself all day long. It takes me 2 seconds. So there's nuances to that whole thing.
Yeah, like rushing the implementation without the proper training. And I equate that to, someone brand new in a fucking car mechanic shop, brand new, like, hey, go work on that Benz. But I'm brand new. I only worked on Ford. Oh, you don't want to do that. So even the most powerful AI platform is only as good as the people using it, right? So without adequate onboarding, employees may mistrust the system, misuse it, or underutilize it, which I think majority of the public now, especially being that it's fun and trendy and all that stuff, is being underutilized. Draw me smoking a cigar Simpsonized. Come on. This is what we use an AI for? Seriously?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
We did. But you can also sit there and use it to buy expensive tools without clear business problem to solve. AI should start with a specific goal: reduce supply chain delays by 15%, rather than a vague ambition. We need AI because competitors have it. Tech-first thinking leads to shelfware, costly tools that never see meaningful adoption. So don't just get it because you think it's smart or because your competitors have it. Get it because you want to use it to actually know shit. Hey, I want to reduce overhead by 20%. How do I reduce overhead by 20% without losing profit? Oh, well, if you actually shut this warehouse down and you move half its workforce over to this other one that's 30 miles away, you could actually increase profits by 25%, and you reduce your overhead cost by 15. So that gets you a net 20. And like, fuck, that's it. Okay, got it. Yeah. That makes sense, right? Like, don't just be like, hey, we got an AI, and then you get people that fucking use ChatGPT to write your reports or something.
Well, even before AI was like the thing, you probably remember, because I think you and I both was looking at this company before. There was a company out there that had I don't want to say a vending machine, but it had a device that would count and keep track of all the little hardware that was used in like a mechanic shop, right? Nuts, bolts, whatever. So if you took the time and input the garbage in the system, so you didn't get garbage out, you actually put usable information in the system. 1 inch bolt, whatever, 10 of them in this square, right? And someone needs that bolt, they go in, they put, I need one of these bolts, I need one. And the machine will like, bzz, 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 and then open up the door so you get the one bolt out. Now the machine will keep count that, hey, we had 10, now there's only 9. And then when it gets to a certain threshold, it will spit out an email or something, be like, hey, guy that orders stuff, logistics, you need to order 10 more of these bolts because we're now below our threshold. But if you remember correctly, that machine was never implemented properly. All the information was never put in correctly, and it was never, ever put online to be used properly. So it was kind of dead before it even started. And that was before AI. This is just simple, like, data-driven information.
Well, and you remember, and I'm sure you remember, it also relied on the inputs of people. So, like, if they said, hey, I need one of these bolts, they opened the door, and then somebody else was like, hey man, I need one of those bolts too. And they took 2 bolts out, then the machine, they put the thing back and closed the door, then it would be like, all right, I have 9 bolts. In reality, it had 8 because somebody said, I only need 1. So, like, it was already off from the get-go because it wasn't utilized properly, it wasn't implemented properly. But here's a real world example.
It's a pitfall.
Yeah, it's absolutely a pitfall. But Amazon used AI for recruiting, and it backfired on them. So here's the plan. Amazon was going to use an AI system to automate resume screening, expecting it to speed up hiring and identify top candidates faster. The problem, the model was trained on 10 years of historical hiring data, which was heavily male-dominated in tech roles. So what the outcome was, AI learned to downgrade resumes containing words like women, like, for example, women's chess club captain. It also penalized graduates from certain women's colleges, and Amazon scrapped the tool after realizing the bias was systemic. So the lesson that was learned is AI output is only as unbiased as the data it's trained on, and without human oversight, such systems can quietly perpetuate discrimination. And I see this a lot now where, like, you have to have certain keywords from the job description in your resume to make it past the system to get it in front of the eyes of a real human being. And if you don't, like, even if you could be the top most qualified fucking candidate, but if you didn't use certain words, like keywords from the job description, it would not even put it up for consideration. And so companies are missing out on qualified candidates. So, yeah, it can be a problem. But you know what's not a problem? Is us taking a break and then coming back for our second third.
That is a great idea. And when we come back, there's a quote I would like to share.
Yeah.
All right.
What's up, gang? Stone from the Smoke World Podcast. Tuning in to the leadership of the leap. If you're not listening to them, what are you doing? You sit back, scratching yourself, digging your nose. Your hair is missing. Don't worry about all that. Check out the podcast, Leadership of the Leap. These two fellas, they get down. They do what they do. Make moves, scratch your butt, dig your nose. It's all good. Peace and love.
Don't forget, we need to follow the podcast so we know when new episodes drop.
Hey, welcome back. We just took a break and AI told me to ask Austin his second third, but I'll describe mine first because I don't like AI. No, I'm kidding. I like AI. Shut up. Now, this is a very girthy, mouth-opening cigar, bringing in a lot of tobacco, a lot of it's taking a lot of work.
Fucking asshole.
It's a lot of work. And I agree with Austin when he first said, yes, I said it. I agree with Austin. When he first said that the girthiness is probably taken away and muting some of the flavor profile. I mean, I'm definitely getting earth. Black pepper is still there. And I mean, there could be a slight cocoa in the mix. But again, everything is like faint.
Yeah, this is I feel like this is more of a novelty cigar than an actual, like, hey, I'm gonna smoke this and enjoy a cigar. And maybe I'm biased. Who knows? AI will not tell me.
Well, my tobacconist, right, when I was looking for the Maduro one, because you had a Maduro, he was like, oh, hell yeah, man, people are buying, they sell out all the time. Now, I don't know if he was just saying it because that's a shop or if that was a true story, but when I reached in to grab one, there was only 3 in the box. So I don't know. I find it difficult to believe. In your mouth. Yeah, go ahead, sing it. Go ahead. There you go. But I can see the novelty of it, so maybe people are buying the shit out of it for a novelty effect. I don't know. I digress.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I will say that like smoking. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but comparing this to an Obrigado or a Sin Compromiso.
I can say this will never be our cigar of the season. There is no way this cigar would be a cigar of the season for us. There's no way.
Yeah, All right, what's your quote that you so teased
quote
before we went on break?
All right, so this is just an AI quote, right? And I'll add to it. So AI should be your co-pilot and not your autopilot, meaning AI should assist and inform decisions and not replace leadership responsibilities. Which I equate that to all these motherfuckers with self-driving Teslas. Yes, It has autopilot. Yes, it could drive you home. Yes, it can do all this stuff, but that doesn't negate you from, taking control of the wheel and driving like a real person when necessary.
Right. That's how you get wrecked, because two motherfuckers are in the backseat trying to let Tesla fucking drive themselves down a street, and it ends up going 45 down residential and fucking crashes into a fucking tree or some shit because it wasn't tracking. Like, it's not. It should never be an autopilot.
So that's the way everyone should look at AI. 100%.
Agreed. All right. AI, not an autopilot, just a co-pilot. So let's talk about some ethical leadership in AI. Is not optional. It's becoming a defining mark of a credible, future-ready executive.
I believe this is what, you was talking about it earlier, and this is where it's getting down to the brass tacks of the garbage in, garbage out scenario that you was describing before.
Right. Yeah, because when leaders adopt AI without considering the ethics of what they're putting in, they risk brand trust, legal compliance, and long-term sustainability. So you have to focus on some areas, right? Like bias and algorithm. AI inherits the biases presented in its training data, right? Like Amazon was trained on 10 years of historical data, and it ended up doing that because it was, it was done on historical data, and there was bias in the data. So without regular auditing, these biases can scale across millions of decisions affecting hiring, lending, and medical care, and more. If you went off of AI data and you said, I don't know, try not to, it's all going to sound really bad, right? Because it's biased. But you're like, hey, should we treat, menthol cigarette smokers this way? And they're like, no, menthol cigarette smokers should not be treated that way. Well, that's going to affect a predominantly certain type of demographic, right? Versus like if you just said, hey, are cigarette smokers inherently more risky to insure? Yeah, absolutely. They're absolutely more inherently risky. That doesn't matter, black, white, Asian, whatever, right? Like it's all risky because they're smoking cigarettes. But if you put in there menthol cigarettes, it's going to automatically assume in its head, but you train it off of menthol cigarette smoker data, it's going to be like, don't insure black people or whatever, like a predominantly, and it's like, wait, whoa, that's racist. Yeah. But it's based off of the data. So you got to watch out for the data. That's why I say when you get the data from your systems, whatever system you pull it from, let's say logistics, supply chain management type stuff. You just pull the data and you input it. You got to make sure there's no biases in it. Amazon had that problem. Well, we predominantly hired males. Okay, why? Why did you predominantly hire males? Well, they were the most qualified candidates over the last 10 years. Okay, well, now it's becoming more women focused. Well, yeah, we don't have that data. Okay, so your bias in your AI is going to exclude women, even though they could be way more qualified than the next man. Watch out for that stuff.
Could you imagine that if it used the data for cigar smokers, like the demographics of cigar smokers, and it took the data back from like the 60s all the way up until now?
Right, yeah. It's going to be
you wouldn't see a woman in sight.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see a woman nowhere near. Well, another thing it can do is data privacy concerns, right? AI often requires large data sets, which may include sensitive personal or business information. Mishandling mishandling that kind of data, even unintentionally, can result in legal penalties and reputational harm and customer, because you're just putting in the raw data or anything like that. So it could pull social security numbers. It could pull like so many different things that you don't want to be out there in the public like that. But AI is not going to see it that way.
It can pull addresses. Hey, you should mainly to these zip codes or these states. Focus your efforts there, and pull and publish addresses unintentionally. And it's like, well, hold on, I don't want to publish that shit. So, that's 100% a data privacy concern. It can set internal AI use. So you need to make sure you set internal AI use policies. A clear framework is going to be needed for how employees can use AI responsibly. This includes guardrails on accuracy, verification, customer impact assessments, and approval processes for high-risk AI applications. So if you're sitting there saying, hey, I want to send out a marketing email and I want to target our best-selling product to customers, it may say, okay, cool. The customers that predominantly buy this product or this type of product are ones in higher income neighborhoods, and so then it excludes all the lower income neighborhoods, which may buy more of it. So you got to make sure that there's not a bias in that data.
Yeah, I'm gonna send broad advertisements to this whole insight that the data spit out, AI has spit out, and the data that it spit out was 90% men. 90% of the men are not going to look at a bra ad. They don't need bras. There's going to be a few that's like, oh, my wife will like that, but majority of the bra shoppers, let's face it, is going to be a woman. Have you ever bought your woman a bra?
One that she picked out, I paid for, but that's like, I didn't.
But you didn't go by yourself.
No, I didn't go by myself and be like, she liked this one, let me buy it. Like, no, it's always like, hey, babe, pick out what you want and I'll pay for it. Okay.
Right.
All right, got it. Cool. If I got a bra advertisement, I'd be like, why the fuck did I get a bra advertisement? Hey, babe, you want to look at this? No? All right, cool. Going in the trash. And they missed out on a sale versus, it could be the similar company. I mean, look at the companies, look at parent companies, right? Like Disney. Disney owns everything from fucking Disney itself to ESPN. Now it has Hulu. And so if it's like, hey.
Fox.
Yeah, Fox. So now if it's sitting there trying to do something, you're like, oh, it may send out sports advertisement, or it may use its sports advertisement people to publish to Disney. And maybe a lot of those people don't have kids or whatever. So it's completely missing the entire point of the process of, let me make sure I advertise to the right demographic. So you got to make sure that guidelines are in place. So here's the case. Apple's AI credit card controversy in 2019. So here's what happened. Apple partnered with Goldman Sachs to launch an AI-powered credit card. Soon after the launch,
I remember that.
Yeah, customers began reporting that women were receiving significantly lower credit limits than men with similar financial profiles, even spouses sharing accounts. The root cause was the algorithm was a quote-unquote black box. Its decision-making process wasn't transparent. There was no clear process for customers to challenge or appeal AI-driven debit credit decisions. So they have, of course, there's fallout from it, right? Public backlash on social media, including tweets from high-profile tech entrepreneurs. The New York State Department of Financial Services launched an investigation. And, of course, the lesson is AI outcomes must be explainable and policies must exist for customers to challenge decisions. Ethical oversight isn't just good PR, it's risk management. So could you imagine if you're an executive at Apple and somebody comes up to you and says, sir, I need you to explain to the New York State Department of Financial Services why we're giving women lower credit limits than men. And if you can't go, well, here's the reason, XYZ, like, if it's just non-transparent, then you're fucked.
Yeah, you're opening yourself up for lots of litigation.
Yeah.
And that it goes back to exactly what the framework that we were talking about. It goes back to that garbage in, garbage out scenario that we're teaching. So, I mean, AI, even though it is trending and it's fun, whatever, it can also be dangerous on how it is actually utilized, especially with Amazon, Apple, and everything. Could you imagine the Pepsi when it was rolling out if AI said something different, like, launch your new chip or whatever, your new snack food in the Canadian market for some reason, because Pepsi analytics and data and all that sources said something about Canada over this Latin America. That it would have been disastrous.
Billions of dollars, essentially.
Yeah. All because, one, you just blindly trust the AI.
Yeah.
Like, well, wait a minute.
Somebody input the data wrong. What if you had a fucking somebody? This happens all the time, right? Like, hey, I'm analyzing many different markets at once, and I put it into AI, and I've been focusing on the Canadian market, so then I ask it to but now I got to pivot to the Latin America market, and I mistype, instead of typing in Latin America, I type in Canada, and it's like, yeah, it'll do really well. And then I put it in there, and flops. People are going to go, what the fuck did you do? Shit, my bad. I was so focused on this other product that we were launching in Canada, I totally forgot to type it to say, consider Latin America. That's my bad. My bad. Like, I told it to focus on Canada, and it said we'd do really well. Like, okay, that was garbage in, garbage out.
But there's a way we can utilize these skills. There's a way we can learn to use these skills. There's a way. And you don't have to code. There's a way. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some ingenuity. It's going to take some, some
ingenuity.
Some brow sweat on your side.
Brow sweat.
Brow.
I could have sworn you said brow sweat. What the fuck
or
you
brow
to
sweat. Yeah, you got man boobies.
Do what?
Okay, you don't have man boobies.
Good fuck.
But you do have brows.
I do have
and they
brow.
do sweat.
They do sweat. They're sweating right now. It's fucking hot as shit where I'm at.
Aw, babes.
Babes.
We just got off one, so.
Yeah. All right, anyways. By 2025, AI tools for leadership aren't just futuristic toys. They are becoming integrated command centers for decision making. These platforms help executives and managers visualize and interpret data in seconds, automate routine workflows, and get predictive insights for faster strategic decisions. The big thing for me is routine workflows. Like, that is huge. So if I have a routine that I do and I say, hey, I want to cut production time by 10%, it's going to sit there and say, well, it can predict, it can look at all the data in my flow and go, well, if you did these two steps at the same time, you could actually save, 12% or whatever. And say, oh, fuck, that's a great idea. I never even thought about that. Like, that's great. But if you say, hey, I wanted to comb through all these resumes and find me the best qualified candidate, give the historical data on that job, it could be biased because the hiring authorities previous could have been biased. I don't know.
Or you didn't clear the cache and it's pulling incorrect data from the wrong section. Which I'm not saying that has happened to me before. I'm not saying that out loud, but yeah, that has happened. Like, where the hell did these
websites?
That number come? Where did that number come from? What did they talk? Oh, I'm still looking at 1-bedroom apartments and not 2-bedroom apartments. Loser.
Yeah.
Garbage in, garbage out.
I forgot to filter my shit.
There's some popular AI platforms people use out there, right?
For sure.
The Copilot is one that is just as probably annoying as that Microsoft Paperclip. You remember the Microsoft Paperclip? You probably don't remember.
Clippy?
You're probably too young. Yeah. You do remember. Okay.
Are you writing a resume? No.
Has it taps on your screen like, go away. Go away.
No, Clippy, I'm formatting a paper for school or some shit. I'm not writing a goddamn resume. Go away.
I'm learning to type. I'm trying to get my speed up.
Yeah.
The brown fox jumped.
Fuck off, Clippy. Microsoft Copilot is embedded in Office 365. It helps leaders summarize reports, draft proposals, and analyze Excel data without manually crunching the numbers. And it can be great. Microsoft, or I remember IBM Watson used to be huge, and I think it kind of is. But it can be good, right? Like, hey, this data, like, hey, analyze this data and tell me what you see. Oh, your revenue streams are down by 10%, and in this market, here's why. Oh, okay, I've oversaturated that market, or now I need to introduce something new. Whatever the case is.
When you brought up Watson, I remember Watson. Remember he was on Jeopardy? Which is a great example, because you would think AI would never get something wrong or anything. It won on Jeopardy. Spoiler alert, it beat Jennings and everyone. It won. It beat the pants off all of them. But it still got answers wrong. I think there was a sports question or something, and the answer was Jordan, and it said Babe Ruth. Like, that just proves that AI is not 100%. Just like autopilot for your Tesla is not 100%. Everything's not 100. You still need that human interaction.
Yeah, exactly. And
you threw up Watson and made me think of that.
Yeah, well, you have to lead it with the right questions, right? Like, hey, if you say, hey, analyze this data, it's going to analyze it and go, all right, here's what I see. But if you're trying to say, analyze this data for why profit shares are down, then it gives it an area to focus on and go, okay, here's why I think profit shares are down. But if you just say, analyze data, it's like, hey, look over there. Yep, looking.
Fuck you. Analyzing data, Tableau AI.
Yeah.
It converts. Is it Tableau or Tableau? I can't pronounce shit.
Tableau.
Have you used it? I haven't used it.
Not often. I think I've used it twice.
Okay. It converts complex data sheets into visual dashboards and natural language insights. Show me the third quarter sales trends in the Midwest, and it would boop beep boop boop 1% or whatever it spits out. Who knows? I don't know. I don't use that shit.
Yeah, I think I used it for a college class, and that was about it. And it gave me all the data, so I was like, all right, here you go.
College. Ooh,
I'm educated.
All right.
ChatGPT is another one. Everyone knows fucking ChatGPT. It acts as an on-demand strategic advisor for brainstorming, scenario planning, and policy drafting with company-specific knowledge integration. Again, it's great if you say, hey, write me a paper on, or summarize these 3 policy letters into one letter. It can take all that and summarize it. It does really good at that. But if you just say, write me a draft report of this over the last quarter, it's gonna spit out some numbers, and then those numbers may or may not be correct depending on your input. So you got to go back and check your source data.
Right. There's lots of out there. Like I seen someone use, was it Grok
yeah.
AI. I was actually pretty impressed with it, because I know you've seen the Gemini commercials where they have like a natural conversation or whatever with it. I've actually seen someone have a natural conversation with Grok, and I think he said, who was the guy that said such and such during a speech when Trump was doing something or whatever? And it was like, oh, you're talking about this guy who said this and this and this during the Trump speech during whatever date. Like, it was phenomenal the way he was just talking to it naturally. How we're talking naturally, that's how he was talking to it naturally, and it spit out the information that he was looking for. ChatGPT reminds me of that. Like, hey, draw me a picture of me smoking a cigar or some shit like that. And there's times where it drew a picture and the cigar is like over in outer space somewhere, and I'm over here. So there's still some bugs in the system or whatever, or I wasn't specific enough to where I was like, show draw a picture of Dice smoking a cigar in his hand, blowing smoke circles or something like that. Like, I didn't get specific enough, and it just used the data that it collected from what I originally asked. So
Yeah.
those you have to be very specific, not very specific, but you, like you were saying, you gotta use the right data, the right source of information that you're going to use. Another one that has been very popular and growing right now is Workday AI, because that supports the HR and operational leaders by forecasting staffing needs, identifying skill gaps, and streamlining performance reviews, as opposed to just, I heard Austin sucks. All right. And then that gets back up to HR. I heard Austin sucks. Okay. That's going to reflect on his review, as where AI is going to look at the reviews more closely in that demeanor and have a better understanding.
Data, like,
yeah,
hey, Austin doesn't suck. It's actually machine B that sucks. And that's where your slowdown is. Austin spends, 20% of his day waiting on machine B because it's outdated. Like, oh, okay. So if I got a better machine B, then Austin would spend as much time waiting on it. Okay, cool, got it. Now I know, he doesn't suck. So it's all about the data. If you just give it, this is what he does in the day, then it may bias your opinion. By 2025, being an effective leader does not mean you have to code, but it does mean that you have to be AI literate.
Right.
This means you're going to have to be able to understand what AI can and cannot do, ask the right questions about data, bias, and decision making, and confidently evaluate AI-generated insights before acting on them. So, like cigars, right? You don't need to be a torcedor to appreciate a fine cigar. You just need to know how to light it, smoke it, and tell good from bad. Same with AI. You have to be able to know how to input the data, digest the data, and see if it's a good or bad data.
With that, the data input, I just love the idea. If anybody's into computers or whatever, that term garbage in, garbage out is, the first time I heard it was in the fucking 80s, mid 80s. I'm pretty confident I just dated myself, but it's so true with all that, because it is essentially that, the framework, the guidelines, the specifics, the data that you give it, all that. You want that to be good data, good information that you put in the system to get even better information out of it. But there's some ways to learn without becoming a programmer. And one of those ways is you can start with like the just plain language resources. I mean, you can go to something like books, like Super AI by Mr. Lee, or Prediction Machines by AJ Agrawal. There's the other different books and stuff out there where it breaks down the AI in business terms. And that's a starting point. If you're a book guy, that's an easy starting term.
Yeah, and if you don't like those, there's online courses like Coursera, AI for Everyone by Andrew and G. It's non-technical, business-focused, or LinkedIn Learning. They have short courses on AI and leadership and strategy. Or you can subscribe to industry newsletters like The Algorithm. That's by MIT Technology Review. It gives you digestible AI trends. Import AI by Jack Clark covers the strategic implications of AI development. Or Ben's Bite, quick daily summaries of AI tools and case studies. I've seen it where people are like, hey, use AI better. And then it's like in 3 simple words. And I read the article and I'm like, what are you talking about? 3 simple words. And it says, you go into like ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever, and it's like, teach me this subject like I'm a 3rd grader. And like AI can sit there and go, oh, and it'll pull all the resources and go and speak in very short, simple sentences of like what that subject is. And you can go, okay, I understand. Now make it teach me this subject like I'm a high schooler or whatever, and it'll give you like high school level understanding of whatever that is. And it can be really beneficial or whatever, like, hey, write this like a journalist, or hey, use my previous writing styles that I've input to draft this response to an email. and then it'll respond to the email in your writing style, and then you're like, cool, I like that. Let me change a few words here or there. Boom, copy, paste, send. I'm good to go.
Yeah. Where I see a lot, exactly what you were saying, I see some AI stuff that comes out, and I'm like, it uses a word that Austin has never used a day in his life. I have never heard you use that word before, Austin. But yet, here it is in this report. Are you serious right now? Come on, homie. The best way that I've learned AI thus far, which is very little at this point, which I will dive more into later, is engage in peer learning. Join professional networks or LinkedIn groups where executives share AI adoption and stories and lessons learned. And not necessarily like LinkedIn groups and stuff like that. There's I guarantee there's people around your workplace that are all in AI or something like that. I look at it like this. Someone has a problem with their phone, right? The ringtone doesn't loud or something, right? And they can't figure out how to get it back. So you ask around like, hey, who else has an iPhone? I do. Oh, well, have you had this happen to you before? And then like, oh yeah, you accidentally press this button and you do this and this, and then you're back in business, right? The same thing goes for AI. Like, who's been using AI for this? And then, you start finding the people that actually engage in it, and you kind of learn together. But like, hey, did you know AI can do this? I did not know that, man. So I can use that and then use this to use AI to do that. I mean, now you're compounding and building upon what each of you already learned about AI.
Yeah. And to reiterate, right, to kind of close this down, this isn't about robots replacing us. It's about how the smartest leaders today are using AI to sharpen their edge, move faster, and make better decisions. We've all seen the wins, we've called out the pitfalls, and we've talked about how you can get AI literate without ever touching a line of code. Because AI isn't just another tech trend, it's a leadership tool.
Well, it's one of those things where leaders who stay relevant, competitive and effective in this new era are the ones that know how to pair strategic thinking with data-driven decisions. And I love the fact that it's data-driven decisions, because a lot of logical thought process is built off data-driven decisions. A lot of times you don't just willy-nilly decide to go one way. You sit there and ponder about, last couple of times this happened, this is the outcome. So we're going to move this direction. The AI is going to take your data that you was already thinking of and years of other data to help that data-driven decision. They're not guessing and they're not reacting. They're anticipating. So as you head back to your office or your boardroom, or hey, even your favorite, cigar lounge, remember AI should be your co-pilot and not your autopilot.
Yeah, you need to use it to spot patterns you can't see, explore options you haven't considered, and free up your time for what really matters. Leading with vision, not just managing the moment. That goes back to that hey, look at this data and tell me why my sales are down in this region, or combine these policy letters or distill this 4-page email into snippets that I can easily digest. I've seen it where AI has taken notes over a Zoom meeting, and they're like, hey, what are the do outs? What are the go dos for out of this meeting? And it's like, well, based on this person said this, so they need to go do this, and they said this about you, and you need to go do that. Da, da, da. And you're like, all right, cool, that makes sense. Copy paste in an email. Hey, just as a recap, here's what I caught during the meeting. Please let me know if anyone else caught anything different or more. And that way you don't have to sit there and scribble notes the entire time during a meeting. You can just sit there and use like AI to take your notes for you.
Or you can use AI to tell what your final third is like.
Well, like AI for that. Has no taste. So again, it's just hot smoke almost. The flavors are very muted. I'm still getting earth, maybe a little bit of leather or cedar, and just a touch of black pepper on the retro.
The black pepper has stayed with me. Again, I agree with the muted. Cedar's there. I'm still getting a small like tinge of cocoa, but that could also be hitting from my Henny because my Henny's a little sweeter than your Scotch. But I will have to give it a negative when you get down to the nubbing section of it. It's not a nubbing type cigar. You're not quite there yet, but it was already kind of girthy to get there. But to actually get past that to a nubbing point is, I'm gonna have to go. I'm not feeling the nub section of it. I can't enjoy the whole cigar.
All right. So with that being said, then single, 5-pack, or box worthy?
It's time to answer the question: is the cigar box worthy, 5-pack, or just 1 or 2?
Well, I'm paying attention to the whole smoke, right? The whole time we've been going about. I'm gonna go ahead and say we were already biased from the beginning because of the girth size. It was not our cup of tea for girth size. But there are people out there. There's a guy, a friend of mine, I call him Sammy. He wears 2 ties. This is right up his alley. He loved the big ring gauge girth cigar. So this will probably be right up his alley. And I'll probably give him one because I know it's right up his alley. And he hooked me up with one. But saying that, the flavors, it was too big of a girth for me to enjoy what flavors are there. I'm more of a Lancero guy because I love the impact of the flavors that it brings. This does not bring an impact of flavors to me. It was a novelty smoke for me. I'm gonna go 1 single. It's one of those singles that I wouldn't even recommend unless you just want to give something completely out of your realm a try. Not saying it's a bad cigar. It's just not nowhere near. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup. It's not my tea.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like, the more I've smoked this, and for me, it's burned really wonky. I've had to touch it out several times. I've had to relight several times, which is a little bit surprising. It just was not anything that I would smoke. I don't want to say it was not an enjoyable smoke, but it just definitely wasn't what I would consider an enjoyable smoke. I'm definitely more of a Robusto Toro type person. The ring gauge was too big. The smoke output was fine, but the flavors just lacked oomph. It was very much just like, I was like, oh, this is a cigar. Like, I know I'm smoking a cigar, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you tasted some smoke, you fucking asshole. Like, it just wasn't what I cared for.
Well, the advertisement notes or whatever that are provided for the cigar, it says it's a medium, and I could see it being a medium, but because of the girth of it, it definitely smoked as a mild to mellow, but it's definitely a medium cigar. Well, that's what they say, it's a medium cigar. But smoking it, I can't get medium because, one, I don't really wrap my lips around it well enough to intake everything in, especially at this point where I've actually used my cigar holder to actually, because I can't hold it anymore properly without burning my fingers because it's the ring gauge. I don't know. I'm gonna just say I did not enjoy smoking this cigar. I'm gonna just say it. I don't want to say it's a bad cigar. I just did not enjoy it.
Yeah, no, single all day for me. I don't think I would ever pick one of these up again. Again, this was given to me by a buddy of mine, and I'm not gonna turn down free cigars, right? Like, I'm not turning down free cigar, but given an option, would I ever pick this up in a lounge? Hell to the non. Like, it was not happening. Not good. Like, there's so many other cigars out there. There's so many other better cigars out there that I would not pick this up. Now, if this is the literally last cigar in the lounge, and I'm just wanting to smoke in the lounge, sure, but that's not going to happen. And if it did, there's other lounges. Like,
I was going to say, I think I'd probably pass.
Yeah, I'd probably just leave. But it was not worth it to me to do this, because I had to, like we talked about at the beginning, we had to dig in our in our plethora of cutters to go find a cigar cutter that would actually cut this, and it just was not enjoyable.
Yeah, I would bet that any like regular cigar smoker has probably anywhere from 5 to 10 different cutters, right? Just around the house in a drawer somewhere or whatever. But they only have one, maybe two that they use all the time. All the time, no matter rain, shine, that's their go-to cutter. Yes, literally had to find a cigar cutter to make this happen. Maybe it would probably been better in a torpedo.
I think in a torpedo it might have been a little bit different, but I don't know. I'd have to smoke one.
Yeah, no. Well, I won't see. So, yeah, single.
All right. Well, until next time, I'm Austin.
And I'm Dice.
And great leaders smoke great cigars.
Facts.
Thank you for listening to Leadership of the Leaf. The comments and opinions expressed by the host and guests does not reflect the opinions of those that broadcast this show, nor does it reflect any of our affiliates.